Okay, it's time to get started. I will call this regular meeting of the Lawton City Council to order. Please stand for the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't have a pastor down, is that correct?
Correct.
Bob Weeger, would you lead us in prayer?
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Father, we come before you tonight, standing before you once again to gather to conduct the business of our great city. We thank you for each one represented here tonight. We ask for your wisdom and insight as the decisions to be made would be ultimately for the good of our city and our citizens and for your glory. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Pastor. And please call the roll.
Hooten. Here. Epps. Here. Chapman. Gill. Yes. Hampton. Here. Uyghur. Williams.
Present.
Warren.
All right, and that brings us up to item number 1. We've got the Marines in the house, so if the Marines will come forward, we're going to recognize them for helping with the Holiday in the Park. I was getting the wrong holiday. No? Okay, I better let John handle this.
Well, actually, Lawton Fort Sill Freedom Festival, International Festival, and hopefully soon with a little bit of help for Holiday in the Park. So my name is Jason Poudrier. I'm the Arts and Humanities Director with the City of Lawton, and it's my honor to recognize the Marines that are with us here today. We have Gunnery Sergeant Masita, who has been basically our boots-on-the-ground guy who's been helping out with coordinating the volunteers. And his chain of command, who is here, Sergeant Major Ramga, First Sergeant Pass, and also Colonel Schweers. Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause for coming out. So also coming down to help us recognize these Marines, I have my house manager, who's also basically my festival manager, Stavis Mormon, who works very closely with the Marines, Dory Thomas, who is the chair of the International Festival, and Dinah Lazarte, vice chair, and Kathy Rogers, who works firsthand next to some of the Marines who work the drink booths. So they go all the way from when we first start the setup on Tuesdays on International Festival. It doesn't just pop up overnight. It looks like it. That's because you have Marines working to set it up. And then during the events, to make the events happen, the Marines are also there on the ground making it happen. And they're all with the Marine Corps School of Artillery. Just this past year, between the 12 Marines that they provided for us in the setup of Freedom Festival and the 12 Marines that they provided for us for International Festival, they totaled over 1,000 hours, and that's just this year, and just for 2 festivals. They've been volunteering with the International Festival and Freedom Festival for a numbers of years now. We just thought, you know what, it's time to recognize them in front of the council and the mayor, and so on behalf of the International Festival and City of Lawton, we have this plaque that Stavis is going to present to you. And then Gunnery Sergeant Masita, we have a certificate, which Dory, if you'd like to present the certificate, just special recognition for being, just the one on the ground, that we've been coordinating with, that Stavis works with. Thank you so much. City Manager, did you want?
Thank you all. We really appreciate everything. Thank you.
And thank you guys for coming. We love hosting the Marines at City Hall. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And that brings up item 2, Employee Spotlight Award, Alex Moore. John?
Alex, come on down. Well, good evening, everyone. Tonight's Spotlight Award goes to Alex Moore. And again, the Spotlight Award is chosen by the Employee Advisory Committee. So Alex was chosen by his peers as someone who's outstanding and stands out in a positive way. Alex is a maintenance technician over at the Medicine Park Water Treatment Plant. He's been over there for about 6 years now. And recently, he led a tour of the Great Plains Technology Center, their industrial automation section. He showed them some of the principles that they've been learning in the classroom. He showed them real-world application of those principles. And Alex is very enthusiastic about his job over there and providing treated water to the city of Lawton. He's very enthusiastic. He's done an amazing job. I've seen it myself. We're very proud of him. And one of the cool things about Alex is his family's a multi-generational City of Lawton employees. His father, Mark, works for the city as well. So please give Alex a round of applause.
That brings up item 3, True North Award recipient. John?
Jovid Serrano, you coming up, please? So Jovid is obviously one of our firefighters, and he works at Station 8. He's been there for about 2 years. And we give these True North Awards out monthly, and some of them really stand out, and this is one of them. Jovid was actually about a month ago or a few weeks ago, you were on a day off, you were just kind of going about your business, and somebody flagged him down in the road, and there was an emergency medical situation going on, and Jovid immediately stopped his vehicle, gets out of his car. The person was undergoing a cardiac arrest, so he starts performing life-saving CPR. By the time the emergency medical folks that were on duty got there, Jovid had restored a pulse, and so the individual was still alive. And even after they were evacuated from the scene, he stayed on the scene to provide information to family members and help and make sure that essential medical information was passed on to providers. So please give Jovid a very warm round of applause for his actions that day.
And that brings up our reports by the mayor, city council, and city manager. We're going to start with Mayor Pro Tem, Ward 8. You good? Ward 7. 6.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope everyone had a wonderful time of giving thanks. We have much to be thankful for and looking forward to celebrating the Christmas season with family and friends.
Amen. Ward 5.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We had turkey. Thank you for that, Councilman. We had turkey, and I got all my vegetables from the farmer's market, believe it or not. And they were delicious and fresh. I want to remind everybody, if you have an opportunity, go down to the farmer's market. A lot of people there, good social time. I usually want to go for about a half hour or so, but I'm there all the whole time because it's just a good time. And I just want to thank all the veterans, since we had the Marines here, just reminded me of that and all your service. And for those families that have people out in theater, we pray for their safety. Thanks, Mayor.
All right, Ward 4.
Well, it's been great holidays. I think everyone got plenty to eat from what I've heard. Just a quick update. Even though the weather's been a little bit bad, roads are continuing. We're making progress, and you may notice around town we're making a few traffic light changes, causing a little bit of congestion, but when we get all the traffic lights and some permissive left turn lanes also, that's the blinking yellow light after the green goes off. If no one's coming, you can proceed at your own risk. So we're working on those also. So things are moving right along despite the weather.
And Ward 3.
I love how the city of Lawton recognizes the people who work for this city and for this community. And I love the idea of how we recognize these people, because we would never know about this. This is something I think we really do well.
Okay,
And
very good.
congratulations to these two people.
Yes. And Ward 2.
I'm going to kind of dovetail off of that, recognizing city workers. And what I'll tell you is, so some of you know I travel a fair amount, and I got in 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on the corner of Lee and Flower Mound, and my car just stops. 1 o'clock in the morning, just stops. And it is dead, and I'm stuck there. And a police officer pulls up, and what I want to tell you is that it was very refreshing to have a nice personality, a smile on their face, ask if they can help me, offer to get a pickup, not a pickup truck, a tow truck, which I'd already done, but just the help. And he stayed there, ensured that my wife got there to help me, get back home in time, and we got the car towed away. But the point of it is it's refreshing to know that our police department, we can count on them for more than the crime prevention, but for doing community work and ensuring that we're taking care of that citizen. So I appreciate the Lawton Police Department.
All right, very good. Thank you. Ward 1.
Well, except for a bunch of requests for speed bumps throughout Ward 1, it's been all quiet, but there's plenty of those, I can tell you for sure. And but I do want to thank, since the Marines are, gosh, I guess they just left, but they we had a bunch of Marines out for the Spear Survival this year. They volunteered for us for two days. And I tell you, that's a great tie-in for us, and for the Spear Survival, but also for the community too. Haven't seen young guys, men and women like that out that early in the morning working hard all day. But I tell you, those guys, they can eat. They know how to eat. That's why they can do that.
All right, thank you. And Ward 2's got something to add.
I almost forgot, in the spirit of there are things to do in Lawton this weekend in the park, there's live caroling, so make sure that you go out and you see what we have to offer. There are things to do here in Lawton.
And City Manager.
Mayor and council and citizens, really excited to announce our inaugural tree lighting ceremony, which will occur this Thursday at 7 p.m. in the lobby. So we've already got the tree decorated. We've got some different things that are going on. So please make it if you can for that. Okay, thank you. And then LPD is doing their tree lighting ceremony at 6 that evening. And then there is also a chamber holiday open house that's open to the public from 4:30 to 6:30, and then Cameron University is doing a tree lighting as well. So lots of tree lighting this Thursday.
Wow, if they all have cookies. Ooh, man. All right, thank you, guys. That brings up the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda prior to action and considered separately. Council, I've not had any requests for pulling. Can I have a
Mayor
motion?
Booker.
So,
I'm sorry, Mayor Booker, you have a request to speak on 14, if you'll pull that.
Okay, we'll pull 14. Who's pulling it? Okay, so we have pulled item 14. Can I get a motion?
Mayor and council, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item number 14.
And do I have a second? Do I have a second? Please vote. And item carries 8-0. On item 14, consider approving an amendment to Council Policy 1-6, Council Rules of Procedure, by adding trust authorities to the list of entities that City Council can create and require the council members will not submit or receive a nomination for a trust that would cause them to serve more than 9 consecutive years, to require individuals who speak who sign up to speak to personally address the city council, to prohibit speakers from delegating their time or designating another person to speak on their behalf, except when accommodations such as interpreters are needed, to allow owners of businesses in the city of Lawton to speak during audience participation, and to require all Lawton residents wishing to speak during the meeting to submit a request to speak form before the meeting is called to order. So I think that basically covers what it's about. Casey, you can go ahead and come up. We'll be to you in just a second. Really, the one on the trust was just clarifying what was done earlier, and trusts were left out accidentally. So all that is clarifying what you did probably a month ago. And it's consistent with term limits on elected officials. It basically put term limits on everybody. The other items were just to clear up some misunderstandings, had requests to read items in the record. The council actually had that option when they elected to move the audience participation to the end of the meeting, and they did not take that option. And so we were just clarifying, and those somebody brought up the point that people that own businesses in the city limits ought to be able to speak before the council, and I certainly think that's right, so I added that as well. So with that being said, I'm going to let Kesa speak. Go ahead.
Is this on? Okay, awesome. I'm just going to keep it as brief as I can. I feel like this policy is kind of just another way that you guys are using to silence us as a community. You've already passed it so that like people who aren't residents within the city can't speak, but I've already clarified that you guys get to make decisions that affect them. I feel like we wouldn't feel like it was necessary as citizens to yield our time to someone else if there was actually a path for them to speak on their own. And I also don't think that it's necessary for us to have to submit a request to speak form before the meeting is called to order, especially because you guys moved audience participation to the end. So there's just really not an argument for that. Other than that, I think you think that's somehow going to silence us, but we'll just be here more early and make sure that we get it in on time. So
Okay,
that's all
thank
I
you.
wanted to say.
Thank you for coming. Council comments or motions?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve in a second. Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Bringing up unfinished business. Receive a report from the Housing and Community Development Administrator regarding the current status of a tenant-based rental assistance, TBRA, with the Lawton Housing Authority, LHA, and take action as deemed necessary. Larry.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. As you all know, this item was before council already. It was tabled. It is back. We did seek legal guidance on this, and their guidance and recommendation was that there was no agreement for reimbursement of funds, and that it should not be backdated. Mr. Burns, please come on up.
I kind of feel like we need to kind of start at the top.
Okay.
What it was, and remind me why we tabled it, and then, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. It was tabled you tabled it for two reasons. One, to get advisement from the attorney, and to also look at if there was any trust indenture pertaining to LHA.
Okay, thank you. So I had a request. They were requesting that we pay them $74,000.
That is correct.
But we had no agreement with them.
That is correct, yes, sir. No current.
And then we advised you to get legal counsel before you brought it back.
Yes, sir.
And the legal counsel has said what?
But they recommend that we do not.
That we do not.
That we do not pay.
Okay, counsel, do you have any questions? Seeing no questions, is there a motion? We have a motion, accept the attorney's recommendation? And a second.
Mayor,
Yes,
Mr. Jackson, I think would like to address the council.
come on up. We need your name and address.
Hello, council members. My name is Jervis Jackson. My address is 1310 Northwest Cherry Street here in Lawton, Oklahoma. I just want to, if I may, I'd like to add to this because as we looked at this, this is simply a matter of being reimbursed for funds that were spent. And those funds were spent providing low-income housing for citizens within the city of Lawton. I can provide for you a bit of a timeline. I think that was one of the issues, that we did not have a contract, but we certainly have enough communication and enough correspondence between the Lawton Housing Authority and other members of the Housing and Community Development Office, as well as other leadership, to indicate that we did in fact have an agreement. So this began in August 1st of 2019. We had an agreement with a notice to proceed of August 14th, 2019. That agreement was for 2 years. It was from August the 1st, 2019 to July of 2021. On December the 9th, we received another notification to proceed. And that extended the date from August 2019 to June of 2022. With that notice to proceed, there was at council an additional $200,000 added to the TBRA agreement for 2021. There was subsequently an agreement drafted up that ran from January 2022 to January of 2024. But that agreement apparently, and the shifting and the reorganization, changing of leadership, changing of the leadership structure overall in the housing community development, it resulted in that agreement being done, but the agreement never got signed. We're continuing to administer the program. We received now in March of this year, Mr. Gary Brooks, who was the director in that office at the time, I have an email here from Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks at that time had prepared an amendment, and that amendment also was to the TBRA 2021 agreement. That amendment was to carry us from January 7th of 2024 to June of 2025.
Jervis, how much longer is your presentation?
Won't be but 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Brooks brought that, sought to get that amendment signed. When he sought to get it signed, he was asked for the signed copy of the 2022 agreement. No one had a signed copy. When we went by and briefed them at the Housing Community Development Office here in the last couple of weeks, there was a copy of that agreement produced, but no one ever signed that agreement. We subsequently received another agreement in July 2024 that took us to June 2025. We have emails, we have communication that throughout that whole period from August 1st, 2019, throughout this period and up until June 2025, when this last agreement ended, we have communication suggesting and indicating that we did have an agreement. And we were simply waiting on the amendment to be signed. In the interim, we actually signed another agreement. So I'm really not understanding why.
Okay, excuse me just a minute. Did you have something you wanted to add, Robert?
Say again, sir?
Did you have something you wanted to add?
No, sir.
Okay.
Mayor,
I'm going to direct my
I'd like to add.
questions to the attorney.
I'd like to add something,
Has
Mayor.
all of this been reviewed that he's talking about?
Yes, Mayor, it was reviewed by the legal department, and the lawyers in the office had discussion on the matter. Our deputy city attorney is also here. He was the one in charge.
Okay. Tim?
So, good evening, Mayor and Council. So I did meet with the Housing Department and went through the facts here. The gist of it is, like Mr. Jackson said, from January 22 to January 24, there was no agreement. There was nothing executed. So that goes back to, can we now pay for something we didn't have an agreement? Now, should we have known there should have been an agreement? That's maybe another question. Should Lawton Housing Authority said, hey guys, we don't have the agreement signed? There wasn't an agreement signed during that period.
City Manager?
Mayor and Council, I was just going to clarify that staff's recommendation on this action was that council take a prospective response and approve it, and just not retroactively approve it. So I just want to make that point clear.
Yes, so, and that would be up to council if they want to continue to have a relationship with Lawton Housing Authority and do an agreement. Our recommendation would be any agreement be prospective in nature and not retroactive.
Okay. Okay, so I just want to clarify. We got a staff recommendation, we got a legal recommendation. The legal recommendation is not approved back payment. The staff recommendation is to approve payment going forward. That amount going forward, so that we're not backdating anything or paying old. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you made the motion.
I made the motion. I have a question.
Okay, ask your question.
I have a legal question. If we do what staff recommended, is that a legal procedure? Because we're paying money out on something that's before a new agreement would be made, and we're accountable for that money.
So we're not saying pay money out for what's happened in the past. We're saying if the council wants to continue a relationship with Lawton Housing Authority.
Well, I think that's a different issue.
Right.
That shouldn't even be brought up right now, because we're discussing, they're wanting money for something that we never had an agreement on. I don't care what we do in the future.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if we go ahead and we make a motion to approve this, we're spending money that was never approved.
No. So if we were to approve an agreement, it would be prospective, which is what you're saying is the different action. So on what's been spent by Lawton Housing Authority in the past, we're saying that ship has sailed. We didn't have an agreement.
Well, maybe something can be done at a later date, but as far as this particular issue, my motion still stands.
Your second stands? Thank you. Teron?
And maybe this is a question more for you. Recognizing that the emails were apparently not legally binding, was there in those emails, was there a commitment made? And then two, would that commitment had to have come before council?
I've not seen the emails, so I can't answer specifics on that. My meeting with housing was essentially, did we have an agreement? Was an agreement signed?
Okay, so we've not looked at the emails that he mentioned where there was a commitment of some sort, and that hasn't been evaluated or brought into the equation based on for your recommendation.
Well, an email is one thing, but council approves the agreements. So
I got that, which was the second part of my question, was even if there was an agreement, would that have had to come before the council to be ratified?
yeah, it'd have to have been approved by council.
Okay.
I think, right.
Ms. Williams?
Well,
You're on.
that's what I was getting ready to say. The council didn't approve it. Also, another thing I'd like to emphasize that we have to watch out for our taxpayers' money. We can't do business like that, just not having contract agreements in writing.
Okay. Any further comments? Any further comments? No. Please vote.
We're to deny that.
You're vote is to accept the legal recommendation of not paying. Okay, motion carries 8-0. And I am going to say that I do believe under this agenda item, if somebody wants a prospective agreement going forward, that a motion can be made to do that. Mr. Gill didn't want to, but there's still room in here if you want to, or it can be brought back or not. Seeing no motion, we're going to move on. Item number 26, hold a public hearing for the purpose of giving any interested persons the opportunity to be heard in support of or opposition to the proposed Third Amendment Lawton Downtown Economic Development Project Plan pursuant to the Local Development Act 62 OS 850. How do I say that?
At sequential.
Okay, at sec. And consider approval of an ordinance pertaining to the Lawton Tax Increment Financing Regulation amending Article 1015, Chapter 10, Lawton City Code 2015, approving the third amended Lawton Downtown Economic Development Project Plan, reducing the area within the boundaries of Increment District Number 2, City of Lawton, identifying and establishing the boundaries of 2 increment districts, deferring the naming and the date of creation for the 2 increment districts, designating and adopting project area boundaries, adopting certain findings, authorizing the use of ad valorem sales, use, and occupancy tax increment revenues apportioned from increment districts for the payment or financing of eligible project costs, ratifying and confirming the actions, recommendations, and findings of the Review Committee and the City Planning Commission, providing for severability, providing for codification, and by separate motion and vote, declaring an emergency. Rich.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Council. On the last hearing we had on November 11th, Lisa Harden was here, and she did a great job of presenting all the details of this project plan, so I didn't want to rehash all of that. I just thought I'd go over it quickly, what it does, so that maybe people in the audience that weren't here. This third amendment, first of all, it does not change the purpose of the original downtown project plan, which was approved originally in 2006, and it does not change the date or the duration of increment district number 1, which was approved in 06, and it doesn't change the duration of increment district number 2, which is approved in 2010, so it doesn't extend any of those. What it does simply is, primarily, it takes those 2 little areas labeled TIF A and TIF B that were undeveloped, still are undeveloped, right? And kind of gives them a new life in the project plan. Now they're A and B, so they don't start until they're designated by the City Council. And the purpose for this is, as you all know, we discussed, there's interest, there's new interest in the downtown area, and it's specific interest. We have a purchase and sale agreement on the property shown as TIF A for a grocery store, which would be a really big deal in the community anywhere, especially in the downtown, for the downtown revitalization. So again, this project plan does 4 primary things, creates those 2 new districts, it expands the project area. I'm gonna use my little, see if the little button works. It doesn't work. Expands the project area to include, Elmer Thomas Park and Lawton High School, Central Middle School, that whole block up there. Includes all of that, including the museum and the McMahon Auditorium, as places where increments could be used if council so chose. It updates the budget to reflect current costs and current things like that. And also, on those 2 new districts, it allocates 10% of the TIF revenue to STEM, which is consistent with the STEADY project plan. Now, these changes are important because it does get us started, if we get us restarted in the downtown revitalization, which is very important to Lawton. The Review Committee and the Planning Commission are required to review this prior to City Council. They both reviewed it, they both approved it unanimously. You had another public hearing. Your first public hearing was on November 11th. This is the second public hearing. It allows places for people to give their opinion on it. And then, of course, we would ask that you entertain an ordinance, that's why the title was so long, to codify this third amended project plan. And I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Seeing no questions, I will open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this item, please come forward at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Do we have a motion? We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Please vote.
Mayor Booker, this will be an ordinance, so I believe the motion should be to approve, waive the reading, and read the title only.
Okay. This is an ordinance. Okay, who made the motion? And was that your motion to waive? Okay, and that was your second? Okay, please read the title.
An ordinance pertaining to the Lawton Tax Increment Financing Regulation, amending Article 10-15, Chapter 10, Lawton City Code 2015, approving the third amended Lawton Downtown Economic Development Project Plan, reducing the area within the boundaries of Increment District Number 2, City of Lawton, identifying and establishing the boundaries of 2 increment districts, deferring the naming and the date of creation for the 2 increment districts, designating and adopting project area boundaries, adopting certain findings, authorizing the use of ad valorem sales use and occupancy tax increment revenues apportioned from increment districts for the payment or financing of eligible project cost, ratifying and confirming the actions, recommendations, and findings of the Review Committee and the City Planning Commission, providing for severability, providing for codification, and declaring an emergency to be considered by separate vote and motion.
Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. I need a motion to declare an emergency on the same item. We have a motion and a second. Okay, and this requires 6 votes, right?
Yes.
Let's vote. Motion for emergency passes 8-0. Item 27, consider request from the property owner for additional time to remodel the structure located at 511 Northwest Bell Avenue per section 611108, section D. It states after 180 days, the property would go back to City Council for specific authorization by the council. John.
Mayor, Council, 511 Northwest Bell Avenue. This address was declared dilapidated on 2/27/24. It has come back to the City Council for approval for the renewals of permits twice. They are lacking the final, there we go, too. They are lacking the final inspections to have a CO issued. Staff recommendation is to allow them to continue to get the permits needed. As you can see in the pictures right here, you can see the before picture on the left and the current picture on the right. This is of the front of the house. And this is of the back of the house. Any questions?
So this is their second extension?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, looks like you guys are really working with people to get things back to presentable, livable
Yes, sir.
conditions within the code. And that helps that neighborhood a whole lot.
Yes, sir.
Council, do you have any questions? Or motions?
Yeah, Mayor, Ward 5 has taken quite a hit on dilapidated properties being the older ward, and I'm absolutely thrilled with the fact that we're finally getting some new building and rebuilding houses that we have there. And with that, I make a motion that we approve the next 190 days.
A motion and a second. Discussion? Please vote. Thank you, John. Motion carries 8-0. Bringing up 28. Consider approving the agreement between Mountain Bike Club of the Wichitas in the city of Lawton for construction of new bridge on southwest corner of Lake Latonka. Go.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Kelvin Ingram again. I also have with me again Mr. Sean Geib as well, the Mountain Bike Club of Wichita's director as well. Again, what we're asking too for the city to take in consideration to, yes it is, oh yes, take in consideration of constructing a newer revised walking bike trail in vicinity of the city property southwest of Lake Latonka, in lines with also the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge. Again, the club is understanding of its responsibilities for the construction of the bridge that, and also the materials that in. Club also understands it's not an agent of the city, but just needs permission since it's on city property. The inspection and the maintenance, again, will rely again within our city as well and expected at any time that deems to be necessary. There's rights and that's also been discussed in the agreement as well. And also, too, the club also acknowledges at any moment in time this thing needs to be inspected or taken out or whatnot. It's going to be upon the club. So what basically the club understands is they're going to incur all costs in implementing and placing this bridge. Just understand it's on city property and our rights within. Subject to your questions and comments.
So I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm under the impression that this club does a good job keeping those bike trails in shape.
Yes, we do, sir.
At no cost to the city, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
All right, we appreciate that. Council, do you have other questions or motion? Motion to approve in a second, please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Mr. Warren, would you take the gavel for a few minutes?
There we go. Okay, that brings us to item number 29. Consider approving an ordinance pertaining to utilities, amending sections 22-4-1-410 and 22-4-1-412, both in Division 22-4-1, Article 22-4, Chapter 22, Lawton City Code 2015, by adding provisions for abandoned shopping carts to be considered bulk waste, clarifying bulk waste terminology, setting fees as such, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. Just as we spoke with the mayor just prior to this meeting. He had requested that this item be pulled, made some more modifications to it. So this item number 29 and 32, he requested.
So tell me that one more time.
So we, Mayor Pro Tem, we want to strike items 29 and 32.
Okay, gotcha. We're going to strike 29 and 32. I got 32 strike. Okay, that brings us to item number 30. Consider approving an ordinance pertaining to business licenses by repealing and reserving section 7-32-1-3201 through 7-32-1-3204, Division 7, 32-1, Article 7-32, Lawton City Code 2015, by removing the scrap metal dealers' requirements from Chapter 7, providing for severability and establishing an effective date. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I don't know what else to say other than what Councilman Warren said. This is essentially striking all of the scrap metal dealer requirements out of Chapter 7. The following item is a companion item that moves all of those requirements to Chapter 16, since LPD is the one that enforces all of those rules and regulations. So we're moving it from Chapter 7 since we don't license them anymore. to make sure that LPD has enough grit to do what they need to do.
Any questions or motion?
Mayor, I move to approve the ordinance. Waive the reading of the ordinance, read the title only. Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Read the title, please.
An ordinance pertaining to business licenses by repealing and reserving Section 7-32-1-3201, 7-32-1-3202, 7-32-1-3203, 7-32-1-3204, Division 7-32-1, Article 7-32, Chapter 7, Lawton City Code 2015, by removing the scrap metal dealer's requirements from Chapter 7, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. And I'll be a yes. That item was approved 8-0. Brings us to item number 31. Consider approving an ordinance pertaining to offenses and crimes by creating sections 16-5-5-501 through 16-5-5-504, Division 16-5-5, Article 16-5, Chapter 16, Lawton City Code 2015, by moving the requirements for the scrap metal dealers from Chapter 7 to Chapter 16 of the code and adding the City of Lawton as an exempted seller, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the ordinance, waive the reading of the ordinance, and read the title only.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Please read the title.
An ordinance pertaining to offenses and crimes by creating sections 16-5-5-501, 16-5-5-502, 16-5-5-503, 16-5-5-504, Division 16-5-5, Article 16-5, Chapter 16, Lawton City Code 2015, by moving the requirements for scrap metal dealers from Chapter 7 to Chapter 16 of the code, adding the City of Lawton as an exempted seller, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. We're striking item 32. Staff's going to bring that back probably next week. Can you get on next week? If not, January.
We'll try.
All right. Hold on just a minute. Okay, Mr. Gill wants to know if we can bring back the agreement for the Housing Authority next week. Is that possible?
We can.
Okay. Item 33, consider holding a public hearing and approving a certificate for a use permitted on review. Request to allow the construction of a townhouse development on lots 13 through 18, Block 14, College Edition, located at 2614, 2616, 2618, 2620, 2622, and 2624 Southwest D Avenue, Lawton, Oklahoma, 73505, waiving 2 of the townhouse development requirements per the City Planning Commission's recommendation and take appropriate action as deemed necessary. Cameron.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is a use permit on review request from NCorp USA, which is present if you have questions for them. This is for a townhouse development located off of D Avenue, just east of 27th Street. This is just east of Cameron University. As you can see, the land is currently vacant. The proposed use is attached housing. Unfortunately, in our code, the only option is to follow our townhouse development, which is why this is required for use permit on review. As you can see, the attached housing is almost like a duplex. The reason for this process is because they want to be able to sell them individually. and not as a duplex. And so that's why this is going through the townhouse development process and the use permit on review. Two of the sections that they won't meet, as approved by, recommended by the City Planning Commission, is the coverage rule, and there's a 25-foot building setback applied in the townhouse development code that requires 25 feet around the entire exterior to have a buffer. So that one was recommended to waive. And then each townhouse having a common open space is also the other one that was recommended to waive. That was by the City Planning Commission November 6, 2025, with a vote of 8-0. This was also noticed to 20 property owners within 300 feet on November 10th and posted in the Lawton Constitution November 16th, with no phone calls for or against this request.
Council, do you have any questions? Ms. Chapman? Okay, comment?
I'm really pleased to see this east of Cameron University because there are some others, people who have built townhouses or areas like this, and it really updates the whole neighborhood. So I'm very excited about this.
And I appreciate seeing the garages on there too and them investing. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Did you want to make a motion?
We have to hold the public hearing.
Oh, I got to have public hearing. Thank you. At this time, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody wishing to come forward, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Councilwoman?
I move to approve a certificate for use permitted on review request to allow the construction of these townhouse developments, waive 2 of the townhouse development requirements per the City Planning Commission's recommendation.
And we do have a second discussion. Please vote. Motion carries 8-0. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Hooten.
Yes.
Epps.
Yes.
Chapman. Gill.
Yes.
Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Yes.
Warren.
Test, test. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. One, two, three. Test, test. Test, test. 1, 2.
Test. Testing, testing.
Okay, we're back from executive session. I need a motion to return. Mr. Uyghur made a motion, and Mr. Hampton seconded, I think. Please call the roll.
Hooton. Epps. Chapman. Gill.
Here.
Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Present.
Warren.
Okay, are we ready, council? Okay, item 34, Tim.
Pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, council convened an executive session to discuss the continued employment of city manager, specifically to conduct the annual performance review of John Ratliff, city manager. That conversation occurred, and it's my understanding we have a motion.
Mayor and council, I would make a motion to approve 3% pay increase, a $16,500 bonus, and exempt Ratliff from his 5-year service requirement before an employee may cash out vacation leave, and direct staff to bring back an amended contract.
Second.
Motion and a second, please. Are we voting? Call the roll.
Hooton. Epps. Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Yes.
Warren. Booker.
Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, council convened an executive session to discuss pending case in Comanche County District Court titled John D. Horton versus City of Lawton et al., case number CJ 2025-691. Conversation did occur. No action is necessary. Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, council convened an executive session to discuss pending claim and potential litigation involving the demolition of property located at 401 Summit Avenue. That conversation occurred. No action necessary.
Item 37, Tim.
Pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, council convened an executive session to discuss the continued employment of the city clerk, specifically to conduct annual performance review of Donalyn Blazik Sherler, city clerk, and that conversation occurred. It's my understanding we have a motion.
Mayor and council, I make a motion to approve a 10% pay increase and increase vacation cap to 280 hours, and direct staff to bring back an amended, updated contract.
Second.
Motion and a second, please vote.
Hooton. Epps. Chapman. Gill. Hampton. Uyghur. Williams.
Yes.
Warren. Booker.
Yes. Brings up audience participation, and we have one request to speak. Kesa.
At least go after somebody tall. Okay, obviously I'm just here to update about Westwind Elements. I'm still not getting any answers as far as the questions that I have in regard to the redevelopment agreement and some of the concerns within the redevelopment agreement and how they're enforced. I'm not getting concerns as far as some of the economic concerns that I pushed forward. I have addressed my city council member, I have addressed John, I have addressed Brad Cooksey, Richard Rogowski, and none of them are able to actually answer my questions. I ended up putting them all in an email and just said, can somebody please answer these? And not one single person responded. I did get a hold of John after that email was sent, and he basically told me he didn't know how to respond. What I can say is that since the last time that I spoke here, the National Congress of American Indians did in fact pass a legislation standing against Westwind, so that is their official stance. So I guess I'm just wondering, like, where do I go to actually get these answers? And, like, how do we rectify this? Because this has been years now that I've been asking for clarity and clarification, and nothing gets sent my way.
Okay, well, your request is heard, and I'll visit with the city attorney about it.
Sounds
Did
good.
you have any more to say? You still have some time.
Say that again?
Yeah, did you have any more you wanted to say you still have some time.
Not on public comment.
All right, thank you. A motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Hooton. Epps. Chapman. Gill.
Yes.
Hampton.
Yes.
Uyghur. Williams.
Yes.
Warren.
We stand adjourned.